Whether you or I choose to admit it, white privilege is a real and prominent issue. An issue that one cannot just understand, but will need to experience it firsthand. In the United States, white privilege is obvious, but that does not mean you can see it. I did not fully grasp how white privilege affected my life until I left the country. What us white people take for granted is a privilege we don't fully understand. During the summer of my junior year, I traveled to Malaysia for 3 weeks and came back with an understanding of white privilege. In Malaysia, the population of white Americans is very small. Even being a white European gives you better standings. Living the life of minority for the first time ever, I got a feeling of isolation and being looked down upon. For the first part of my travels, I stayed at a university. I realized that any time I was out and about the campus, I held myself to a higher standard and was more watchful of what I did. During my flights over the course of the trip, I was treated differently in the airports. While flying domestically, I would get through security just fine and see other nationalities get checked thoroughly. However, in the Malaysia and Japan airport, I was searched again and again. My carry-on was turned upside down, and I was patted down multiple times. It went as far as during my flight out of the country, the security officers had me walk through the metal detectors 3 times. They used a sniffer, rummaged through my bag, and patted me down thoroughly and aggressively. Understanding my experience from Malaysia selfishly lets me appreciate the white privileges I have. In the United States, I do not feel like an outsider. I feel accepted most places where I go. I can go shopping without being followed. I know if I don't get a job, it wasn't because of my color. I can be my own person and do whatever I want. That is in reason. However, in some countries, for example Malaysia, my white privileges are taken from me. In all honesty, it sucks. I felt as if I had a huge presence stalking me around, making sure I was kept up to standards. Here in the United States, I feel free of everything, but in Malaysia, I felt like it was not good enough and I had to prove myself.